Alright everyone, how you doing? I'm Unruly, welcome back to Unruly Horror. This is what I bought this month, November 2023. I'm in my sitting room for this video and it's really weird because I started this in 2020 and after next month's what I bought, it's 2024. Wow, lots of things have changed, but anyway, I've got 4 films here. And out of the 4 films, I did have 4 films. Why is there only 3 here? Because it's behind me for some reason. Actually, apart from one of them, they're pretty new. And I say new as in the last like 12 months. I've seen 2 of them. Haven't seen the 2. So I'll put the one I have seen up first, and I'll put the one that isn't new on top. Okay, do it this way. First film, Hellraiser Hellseeker. I'm a massive fan of the first Hellraiser film. It's like I say it's my favourite film. It always ranks 1 or 2 in my top 10 horror films. And I just have to say, I've been watching the sequels. Number 2 I thought was good, it was a great sequel. Number 3, acting was a bit shoddy in places, but I liked the sort of overall story arc because it did continue for how number 2 left off with the pillar. It just, Pinhead sounded a bit off, not his demonic self, you know. Instead of, you solved the box, we came. Doug Bradley was basically him just doing his normal voice, like, what's his first line? The guy is like, Jesus Christ! And he's just like, not quite. I'm just like, ooh, not Pinheady. But anyway, Hellraiser remarks the return, Hellraiser Hellseeker, remarks the return, oh, actually I forgot to say, number 4, I thought was okay, could have been better, wasn't great, definitely was the reason why all the rest of the films went to straight DVD, including this one. And yeah, number 5, Inferno, was weird. It just didn't feel like a Hellraiser film. It felt like some crime drama film with Pinhead forced into it. Look at my hair, man. Yeah, and this one felt exactly the same. There is no difference, in my opinion, between Inferno and Hellseeker. Because, well, there's certain elements that are different, but it's basically a crime. It's a crime film with the Cenobites somehow forced into it. Like, I can see why people don't like the later series, but, you know, at least it's Doug Bradley. At least Pinhead is still Doug Bradley. It's a return of Kirsty Cotton. I'll just read it out here. Pinhead is back, Hellraiser Hellseeker, the 6th chilling chapter in the electrifying Hellraiser legacy originated by Freight Master Clive Barker. When the puzzle box is once again solved, the devastating demon Pinhead and his legion return to unleash hell on Earth. And demolish all who dare oppose them, but standing in his way is the only person who has defeated Pinhead in the past, Kirsty. And it's up to her to save the world from his ultimate evil. That makes the film sound 100 times better. Like, I don't want to shit on it, but it's not very good. It does have a few good lines, like, what was this? Welcome to the worst, what was it? The worst hell of all, reality. And yeah, I like that bit, but like, it's confusing. I will say the twist is good, but the execution could have been a bit better. Like, I'm not going to say I can do better. I'm not going to, hands up, not going to say, oh, I could create a better Hellraiser Hellseeker. I'm just a person who gives my thoughts and opinions. Next up, well, next month, I should be buying the 7th one, which I can't remember the name. Anyway. Next up is a film I watched the other day. It's a sequel to a film I have watched, but don't own on DVD or Blu-ray, it is Pearl. In Mia Goth. This might be one of her best roles. Like, she's amazing as Pearl. Like, I didn't even know she did double duty in X. The sequel, like, the first film. I had no idea she was the old woman as well as playing her character of Maxine. No clue. Well, Pearl. The old woman, it's Pearl. I definitely think this is a great backstory to the character from the original X film. And it's just good how they do it, because I would have liked to see how she got with her husband, because in X she has a husband, but in Pearl, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Pearl, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I think it's implied she murders him, but not quite. I may be misunderstanding that. But from what I understand is he comes back from the war and everyone's dead around the dinner table. And she's standing there. Is there a photo of her smiling? No, there isn't. She's standing there with the creepiest smile, forced smile on her face. And it's like, oh God. So yeah, if I was like, but apparently if you want to go by logic, the husband stayed with her. No idea. End of spoilers, by the way. So yeah, I really liked Pearl. It was an amazing film. Was it better than X? It was more enjoyable than X, I will say that. It had a lot of fun scenes and suspenseful scenes and a great look into Pearl's psychopathy, should I say. Because you get a sort of glimpse at the first few minutes of maybe something's not quite right with her. You know, and the most famous scene, I'm a star. It's like, oh God. Yeah. So the next two films I haven't seen, and they all, again, I think, well, Hellseeker was 2002. Pearl was 2022. When was these next films up? Don't spoil them. 2023 and 2023. Yeah, new films. Which one do I go with first? I'll do this one. I don't know which one to watch, because I want to watch one of them today. And I'm not quite sure, because I've heard good things about both, and I've heard bad things about both. First up is The Pope's Exorcist, starring Russell Crowe. Good things I've heard of is it's creepy, it's a bit suspenseful. Bad things I've heard is it drags on a bit, it's a bit boring. But like I always say, make your own opinion up. Don't just listen to other people and don't watch anything. You have to watch something to have your own opinion. So, inspired by the actual files of Vatican's chief exorcist. I have no idea. Like, normally I'm not all for the based on a true story. Because normally when they say based on a true story, they mean based on the characters and very, very little of what actually happened in reality, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, they labelled that as based on a true story, and what they mean is it was based on Ed Gein, who murdered 2 people, suspected of murdering a few others, and did make leather faces, but nobody went missing, no tourists in Texas went missing, and were revved up by a chainsaw guy. So let's see. You've piqued my interest. I still like to say that Russell Crowe is still gliding on his the 2000 film Gladiator. Starring Russell Crowe, Academy Award winner, Russell Crowe, 2000, Best Actor, Gladiator. The Pope's exorcist follows Amorith, yeah, as he investigates a young boy's terrifying possession and ends up uncovering a centuries-old conspiracy the Vatican has desperately tried to keep hidden. Wow. Okay, I will say that one really has my interest peaked. So far, this is my winner for what I'll be watching later. I hate when my voice goes. Also, if you want to see what I'm watching, I'm going to be doing a video after this one. I probably won't be released for another few days, but it's going to be like what I'm watching. So instead of like doing it at the end of the month, because I'll be watching something at the end of the month, I'm going to do a video randomly about what I'm watching the previous month. And I'll be taking all that info from my letterbox. And if you want to see my letterbox, I'm pretty sure there's a link down below. If not, I'll add one. But yeah, if you know what letterbox is, this is not an advert, by the way. It's a place where you can log all the films that you're watching. You can give it a rating of out of 5 stars. You can add some, you know, detailed description to your rating, to your review, should I say. And yeah, it's a really decent place for keeping track of the films you have watched and the films you haven't watched. So yeah, I'd give that a go. Last but not least is, well, it is the least one. It is the last one. Knock at the Cabin's Door. It has got 40 minutes bonus features as well, so that's pretty handy. I have heard a lot. You couldn't watch a YouTube video without getting an advert for this film for like months. It's got Batista in, that's all I know. Oh, and it's got Rupert Grant. Rupert Grant. Hugh Grant's lesser-known younger brother. From visionary filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan comes a thriller about a tight-knit family who are taken hostage by 4 armed strangers while vacationing at a remote cabin. Because every cabin is a fucking horror story. Why was that so aggressive? It's a cliche, and knowing M. Night Shyamalan, he's probably going to rework that into some sort of interesting plot point, because, you know, the cabin in the woods already really went in on that cliche. The visitors, led by Dave Bautista, demand that the young girl and her parents make the unthinkable choice to save their family or save humanity. I thought they only had to kill one of them from what, like, I saw in the trailers. I could be mistaken. But yeah, I have heard it's a good suspenseful one. Don't know what the twist's going to be. But yeah, I have heard again, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. There's some lines of dialogue that are a bit like, whoa. And there's some scenes that are slow, boring, or, you know, you have to really be paying attention to understand them. You know, you have to have a smart thinking brain on. And not also did I buy DVDs. I went to Newcastle with my mate, and we went to this neat little shop in the market, and they do like really fantastic posters, they do figures. If I had all the money in the world, I would spend it all in that shop. And I got some cool posters, 2 non-horror and 3 horror ones. I got my 2 favourite Bond. My 2 favourite Bond films, Moonraker and Thunderball. They look pretty awesome. And my horror ones that I got are The Exorcist, Hellraiser, because I've just mentioned before, it's one of my favourite horror films, and Child's Play 2. They didn't have Child's Play 1. All they had was Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, and Bride of Chucky. And I like number 2. I like the whole Jack in the Box and sorry Jack, Chucky's back. I can't do the voice. So anyway guys, that is what I bought this month. If you do like horror films, if you like horror content, please think about giving me a subscribe and a like on this video. Go check my playlists where I do all my horror collection, show you guys what I have, all my other videos from what I bought. And yeah, I do have some reviews which are pretty awful because I had no idea what I was doing. I was just mumbling. But yeah, I want to try to get back doing them. Anyway guys, it's been amazing. Have a nice day.